AITA for taking up all the attention at my SIL's baby shower? I, 33F, am an OB/GYN and I've been traveling around different parts of the world on missions with MSF. Long story short, I hadn't been home in 15 months. For some context, I decided to join due to a depressive episode after my ex-girlfriend broke up with me, but I ended up loving it and I just kept going on missions for 15 months. My ex-girlfriend is a good friend of my sister-in-law, Penny. I decided to take some time off and come back for a while before deciding on what's next for me. I returned 2 weeks ago. My brother, I'll call him Harry 34M, and his wife, Penny 28F, are expecting their first child. They had scheduled a baby shower for yesterday, and obviously Penny invited me, family members and some of Harry's old friends, and were asking me questions about different missions and why I left for charity while I could earn a fortune here. Was it hard being a woman in those areas, etc. I gave them short answers, but they asked more questions. Penny subtly asked for me to talk one-on-one in the middle of the party. She told me I was monopolizing everyone's attention and taking up everyone's time, and no one was paying attention to the purpose of this gathering due to my being there. I apologized and asked her if she wanted me to leave. She said I had been enough of a distraction, and told me to please leave early. I left about half an hour after this talk. So far everything's good. The next day Harry called me and told me I had been a rude guest the day before, because I had ruined their first child's baby shower. He said I should have kept quiet, or at the very least left the party the moment Penny asked me to. Was I a fellow medical professional? NTA. You responded to inquiries about your work and travels, and kept the responses nice and light, to chastise you because they didn't expect anyone to discuss anything other than the parents to be is wrong. Others enjoying your company should not diminish their celebration. If they were bothered by your presence, it's something they need to address internally. P.S. I did mission trips to Guatemala and Peru and had amazing experiences. Thank you for working with underserved communities. Heart. NTA. Boy, this must have been a very boring baby shower if your mere presence and conversation about work was enough to distract the guests. It's not like you were juggling monkeys while standing on your head. You were answering questions. NTA. What were you to do? Ignore anyone talking to you? NTA. I mean, all you did was travel around the world providing much-needed medical care to those in need. And your SIL is the first person in history to have reproduced. So I can't believe people thought what you did was even worth discussing. NTA. And tell Penny and Harry there are no freebies. That is, you will charge them by the hour for any OB/GYN questions they have. Cash only, please. NTA. Traveling around different parts of the world on missions with MSF. Thank you for your work. It's appalling to me that anyone would demand that their guest leave early because they were answering questions asked from other guests, and then to get upset that they didn't leave immediately. Unless you'd gotten out the projector or photo album to show photos of your time away, or kept changing the subject back to your trip and professional experience. You weren't doing anything wrong. How incredibly rude of them. NTA. Additionally, I sure hope no other guest mentioned anything about their personal, professional lives while there. Heaven forbid someone forget about Penny for a second. NTA. Was everyone supposed to join hands and dance around your sister-in-law or some sort of blessing over the baby? People wanted to talk to you because they hadn't seen you in a while, and there's nothing wrong with that. Your sister-in-law is just being an obnoxious, entitled My question is, how do you keep your guests from talking about anything other than mom-to-be or bride-to-be? It's so weird how much people need to be the center of attention. NTA would have been ruder to not answer people's questions. It's so weird to ask people to leave because they are too interesting. NTA. I'd point out to your brother that if you'd left the party the literal second Penny had told you to, the whole room would have asked what happened. At which point they would have either had to spin a story, believability and dignity of all parties may vary, or tell the truth and look like self-absorbed idiots who seem to think the Queen of Hearts was onto something. NTA. You didn't stand up and give a presentation on your mission work. You were mingling and enjoying the party, and the conversations you had were about the work. It doesn't sound like you went super into detail about anything or were interrupting special parts of the shower, such as speeches, games, or gift opening. What did your brother and SIL expect you to do? Respond to polite questions by telling people, oh no, we must discuss Penny being pregnant and only that. As for not leaving the second you were asked, I'm positive people would have noticed if you were pulled aside and then just disappeared from the party. Then it would just be questions of why you left, where you went, and what did you and Penny talk about, which would have resulting in you getting the same call. You taking the extra time to leave gave the opportunity for you to end any open invitations or conversations and give an excuse that wouldn't make it look like Penny was being petty. If your brother and SIL are this insecure about you being at their party, that's on them, and they need to reevaluate why they felt the way they did. How dare you be interesting? NTA. Oh, for the love. NTA. It's not like you brought a slideshow with you. You were socializing. Honestly, considering how boring and awkward baby and bridal showers often are, they should be thanking you for providing some interesting conversation to the room. NTA. Penny and Harry are destined to be helicopter parents that freak out when all attention isn't on their perfect child. They are probably already hanging a participant award on the nursery wall for her attendance at the shower. No way you could or should have handled that differently. NTA. Their problem is that you are interesting. Your ex was an idiot. NTA. Your brother and his wife sound like needy bores. NTA. I have been to dozens of showers, baby, bridal, you name it, and I can guarantee barely anyone talks about the bride, guest of honor, outside of the normal niceties. It's incredibly boring to talk about a new baby for more than 5 minutes. Many guests there for the food and to catch up with old friends and family. These are like 34-hour events. I think only on Reddit is there a thought people only talk about the bride or mom-to-be. I can appreciate that the parents wanted their living representation of their ability to copulate effectively to be the center of attention, but you're out there doing something and people are interested. Is this a version of the stories we read about self-centered brides and or grooms but with crotch spawn? This is bonkers. NTA. NTA. You couldn't win no matter what you did.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic AITA is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.